A blissful good morning to each and everyone who is just listening out there. I should be a trader. No, I should be an investor. No. Investor has its own cons, investor has its own disadvantages, and investors are not that much of superior than of traders. I should be a trader. No. No, yes. I should be a trader. Traders are more successful. If you have same kind of mentality like this, if you make differences between being a trader and being an investor, like traders are more successful, investors are more successful, if you have mentality like this, then you should definitely see this video. I have seen a lot of people who are just debating on this topic, that traders are best, investors are best, traders are more superiors, investors are more superior. But one question that I must ask here is that, does this topic debatable? My personal opinion about this topic is that this topic is not debatable, because all those person who are just trying to debate on this topic, they are doing nothing other than they are just trying to convince themselves that they are ready to go against the nature. Many of us, among you, among me, right? We are night persons, some of us are morning persons, but does that really matters to the nature? Nature don't goes our way, nature has its own way, and nature prefers to get go its own way, right? It means that, let's suppose you are a night person and you love nights, you love moon more than mornings and sun. Will you expect that there will be no morning and no sun from the very next day? Can it happen? Absolutely no. Because the morning and sun has its own advantages to the nature. The night and moon has its own advantage to its nature. Similarly, many of us prefer summer season over winter, and many of us prefer winter season over summer season. But does that really matter to the nature? It seriously doesn't matter, because what we think is actually our way of thinking. It's not the nature's way of thinking. Nature prefer its own way, right? Summer season has its own advantage to the nature. In the same way, winter season has its own advantage to the nature. So in the same way, traders and investors both have same advantage to the market. They both are necessary in the market. Now you think, how they both are necessary in the market? Okay, let's take two scenarios. First, where there are all traders in the market, there is zero investors. Like, there is no investors in the market, there is just trader. I hope that you know that traders are not stay in the company for long period of time. They stay in the company for shorter tenures, from months to 6 months, and not more than a year. It means that there will not be that much of liquidity in the company when it comes to the trader, right? So, if there is only traders in the market, now what traders has their own implications. They just enter into the market to book their profits, and they get exit. They don't have to do with either the company is going to be bankrupt, or either the company is going to be insolvent, or either the company is going to touch the sky. It doesn't really matters to the trader. What actually matters to them is that, is the company is in trend right now? If yes, then they just put their money, they just enter into the market, they just target their price, and when their price touches the target, they get exit from the market and get their profit booked, right? It means that whenever a trader, when there is no investor, I'm talking about the scenario when there are only traders in the market, there is no investor. If all the traders put their money in the market, and what if they put out their money after booking their profits? What if they put out all their money which they have put in earlier? The stock price will fall substantially, because it don't have funds. It doesn't have any kind of liquidity in it. That's why investors play a great role, right? And now let's talk about the scenario. There are multiple other aspects, but if I talk about all those aspects, then the length becomes too large of this video, and I am here to keep the length as short as I can. Right now, let's talk about the another scenario where there are all investors, there are no traders. Now, as I have talked about that, investors are for long term, more than a year. It can be 2 year, it can be 3 year, it can be 5 year, it can be 10 year, it can be 15, it can be 50 years. There are multiple investors whose money in the market for around more than a decade, half century, right? But now let's talk about there is only investor, there are no traders in the market. Now what you actually see here is that there is no volatility in the market, because there is not a active participations of the market. There is not a active participation by the market participants. It means that when there is no trader, there are no fluctuations, and even if there are fluctuations, then the fluctuations or the volatility is not that much that it used to be when there was the presence of traders in the market. It means that just because of the presence of traders, market fluctuates more, market volatiles more, and it becomes interesting for the people to talk about the market, to know about the market deeply. It means that traders as well as investors both are necessary to the market, because they both have their own implications, they both have their own advantages, and they literally do form part of the market system. It means that you should not debate on the topic that traders are best or investors are best. They both are best. They both are best, because they do form part of the ecosystem of the market. Now once you identify yourself, the another question is that which one you should be. Now you know that traders are also good and investors are also good. Now which one we should be? Is there any particular criteria to find out that what kind of category we should move in? Well, there is no category in this. If you are a student and if you belongs to a professional course, if you are pursuing a professional course, it means that you have to study a lot. Then you should avoid trading, you should go after investing. It means that anyone, if you are a student, if you are a person with a job, and if you are a person in your 30s, if you can give your time actively in the market, it means that if you can provide your minimum of 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, and more than that continue, it means that you should go after trading, because trading requires time. Trading asks for your time, trading demands time. You have to sit actively, you have to sit actively in front of your computer screen or in front of your mobile screen to forecast and to predict the market, to do analysis, right? It means that it demands time. If you don't have time, you should go after investing. It will help you a lot. And if you have time, like if you are not pursuing any professional course, it means that you have to not study that much. You don't have to study for around 10 to 12 hours in a day. Then you should definitely go after trading, because it will definitely help you in your goal. Traders don't have a large chunk of profits, but they have consistent profits. They have consistent profit. It means that whenever they put their money, whenever they get exit from the market, they have their profit within their hands, but it's not a large chunk of money. It's just a small proportion, a small return, but they get consistent returns. If you are a well trained trainer in your trading profession, or you can say if you are well educated trader, if you have not learned yet, then you will definitely lose your money as a gambler in the market, right? Now let's talk about what it actually takes to be an investor in the market. What it actually takes to be an investor in the market. What are those factors that really matters when one chooses to be an investor in the market? Well, being an investor is not easy. Being an investor is not easy, and when I say it is not easy, I am not saying that it is hard. It is not hard to, but just it is a wide process, it is a lengthy process. Even the successful investors who are in the market, for around more than 50 to 60 years, they still are learning. Now you can imagine as a beginner what kind of knowledge it actually takes to be an investor, to be a successful investor. There is a difference between an investor and a successful investor, right? But there are multiple factors, and basically investors perform fundamental analysis of a company. Fundamental analysis is basically conducted by the investors, and they also use some sort of technical analysis, and technical analysis is basically for traders. It means that like if I have to give a rough example to you, then if you are an investor, you will definitely use majority of your knowledge, majority of your time in the fundamental analysis rather than in the technical analysis. It means that you will use 80% out of 100 in of the fundamental analysis, and rest 20% you will see the technicals. And if you are a trader, you will see 80% of the technicals and 20% of the fundamental. This is just not an accurate number. I am just providing a sort of example, hypothetical situation, right? So let's talk about investor. Now you have decided that you want to be an investor, and what it actually takes. Well, when I say that fundamental analysis is basically designed for investors, then fundamental analysis are basically of two types: quantitative fundamental analysis and qualitative fundamental analysis. When I say quantitative fundamental analysis says itself, the word says itself, quantity. Quantity means numbers. Numbers means financials of the company. You have to read the financials of the company, you have to read the trading account of the company, you have to read the balance sheet of the company, you have to read the cash flows of the company. Apart from that, you have to study a lot of ratios like P ratio, PB ratio, and there are multiple liquidity ratios, profitable turnover ratios, like profit ratios, capital structure ratios. You also have to see the shareholding pattern, like how much proportion of their capital is held by the promoters, how much of mutual funds, how much is through retail investors, how much by the large investors, smart money, like domestic institutional investors like our LIC, right? This is the quantitative analysis. And when I say you have to read trading account, you have to read balance sheet, I am not saying that you just have to read like a newspaper, right? You don't have to provide a newspaper reading. You have to read deeply, you have to read thoroughly. It means that you need to understand what balance sheet is telling you, right? You have to analyze the market, you have to analyze the balance sheet. Like if it has more debt, what does it signifies? If the depreciation amount is increasing year by year, what does it signifies? If the assets of the company is decreasing year by year, what does it signify? If there is a growth of revenue, there is a growth of sales in the company, what does it signify? If the interest amount in the trading account is increasing day by day, or you can say year by year or quarter by quarter, what does it signify? You have to understand all such things. Now a sort of advantage to all those people or to all those students who belongs to a financial background, like if you are pursuing any course who that belongs to a financial background, and if you understand the terminology trading account, balance sheet, cash flows, then it will provide you a sort of advantage, but not that much of advantage. And if you are not from financial background, that it doesn't mean that trade like investing is not for you. Investing definitely for you, because all those people who belongs to financial background are not doing well, and all those persons who are not from like financial background, they are doing miracles in the market, because they understand the market deeply, right? So this is not like if you are only from financial background, then only you like investing is for you. It's not like that. Even if you are not from financial background, you should definitely begin your journey in the investing profession, in the investing career. Okay, so the next thing is that quantitative analysis. When I say quantitative analysis is just like you have to read the management, you have to identify the management of the company, like the company in which you are planning to put your money in, is their labor worthwhile? Is their team doing great things? Is their team doing things that really matters to contribute growth to the company? If yes, it means that now many of you live say like that from where we can read about the management, where from where we can see the team. You have to visit the official website. There is all kind of information available. After that, you have to read the corporate governance of the company. Corporate governance means what kind of rules and what kind of legal structure the company falls within. It means that there are multiple legal structures specified by the companies, specified by the government, and that legal structure varies from company to company, varies from corporate to corporate. After that, you have to analyze the competitive advantage of the business of the company in which you are planning to put your money in. It means that what kind of competitive advantage has your company that makes your company unique than of its peers or of its competitors. What kind of competitive advantage your company has within it. Okay, after that, you have to analyze the economic factors too, and apart from that, you also have to study the business model, and you have to like analyze that the kind of business model that your company is using right now will survive in the future or not. Here you have to use your own mind, right? After that, there are multiple economic factors that affects the corporate long term. Like in trading, economic factors don't affect the company or the market in a large amount of scenario. But when it comes to investing, it means that you are planning to invest your money for a large period of time. You are planning to stay with a company for a period around 5 to 10 years. It means that economic factors will be there that will be affecting the market. So what are the economic factors? Economic factors like interest rate, like exchange rate, like tax rate, inflation. Apart from that, labor. What is a labor rate? Wages, demand and supply, labor and activity, law and activity, governmental activity, recessions. Okay, education and training, communication, transportation. Apart from that, natural resources, the presence of natural resources within your nation. How much natural resources we have? Do we have to like make import from other nations? Okay, and apart from that, energy and power resources. So these are basically the fundamental and economic factors that you have to analyze before putting your money in. And if all these factors provide a positive sign to you, it means that you can invest. And if it don't provide a positive sign, then you should move on to the another company, and you should conduct all such methods on that company. Now it seems a hard process to many of you, but it is not a hard process. Once you learned about each and everything, it becomes easy for you. Definitely it becomes easy for you. In starting, everything is hard until and unless you know, right? After that, let's come to the traders, the technical analysis. Technical analysis is has nothing to do with the qualitative analysis, the fundamentals. Well, you can see the fundamentals. Mostly those professional traders who are in this field since years, they do check fundamental analysis. But as a beginner, you don't need to rush in the fundamental analysis when you start your journey in trading, right? As a trader, you need to conduct technical analysis, and when it comes to technical analysis, you need to understand the trend, whether the market was in downtrend or whether the market was in uptrend, whether there was a bullish rally or whether there was a bearish rally. You need to identify that, right? You need to see the price and volumes. Price and volumes do play part of the market when it comes to technical analysis, when it comes to our trader psychology, right? You definitely need to see the price and volumes. After that, you need to understand the patterns, candlestick charts. There are multiple type of candles like Marubozu candles, spinning top candles, doji candles, and paper umbrella candles, hammer, hanging man, shooting star, engulfing pattern, morning star, evening star. You need to analyze all these patterns. I will discuss each and every pattern in detail in the upcoming videos. Our goal is to be like a professional investor, a professional trader, or whatever you can, right? So after that, you need to see multiple factors. You need to see there are indicators too to predict the price and to know where the market is actually heading. It means that as a technical analyst, as a trader, you need to use there are various kind of indicators like RSI. My favorite is RSI, relative strength index. You can see the moving averages, exponential moving averages. You can see MACD, moving average, convergence, divergence. There are multiple types of. There is Dow theory, propounded by the Charles Dow, the father of technical analysis, Charles Dow. There is Dow theory too. You need to analyze the risk to reward ratio. You need to analyze your risk appetite. Are you a risk taker or risk averse? It matters when it comes to your trading profession, when it comes to your trading psychology, right? So these are basically the common things that as a trader you should see, and in the upcoming videos I will definitely make each and every topic in detail, whether it is about the trading account, whether it is about the balance sheet, whether it is about the cash flow, the shareholding patterns, or whether it is about the ratios of the company, the business model of the company, the competitive advantage, economic factors, and candlestick charts, the price to volume ratio, risk to reward ratio, and the indicators. I don't know about that much about MACD and others, but I know very well about the indicator RSI. I personally use this to conduct any trade or to conduct investing too. If you are an investor, then you should definitely see the technicals of a company, monthly technicals or weekly technicals. That will be enough for you. But as a trader, if you are an intraday trader, it means that your trade executes within day. You buy and sell within day. If you are a swing trader, if you are a positional trader, it varies from person to person. If you are a weekly trader, right? So definitely we will discuss about these topics later. So let's conclude this video. So this video is all about that trader and investor, they both are necessary to the market. So just wipe out your mentality that traders are superior and investors are superior. They both are superior. They both has their own advantages, they both has their own disadvantages, pros, cons, and they both do form part of the market. They both contribute well to the market. They both are necessary to the market. They do form part of the ecosystem of the market, right? They do form part of the economy of the market. So from next time, don't conduct a debate on the topic that traders are bad, investors are best. They both are best in their sense. They both are unique in their sense, right? So thank you.